Welcome to another edition of TM3 Impact. My name is Tomas Martinez, and I'm excited to have the one, the only Brad Taylor with me today. Brad has been one of the single biggest influences on my life. Other than probably my parents, then there's Brad Taylor. Brad, it is an honor. I'm so glad you came to San Antonio. I'm so glad you're here. Let's get into it. How are you?
You've been a major influence on my life. I think that since I've known you, 10 years now?
More.
11 years?
Almost 11.
Yeah, you're a pain in the ass for
Yeah.
But you really...
In the beginning.
But I have to say, you really motivated me.
Okay.
I think there's things that people do in life when they meet them. And as much as I was motivated and had passion, I think you took it up a notch.
Oh, that's cool, Brad. Thank you.
No. It was knowing you and watching you grow, both, as a person and in business. And I appreciate our friendship.
Yeah, I do too. Well, let's go back, Brad, because you're an entrepreneur. You sold multiple businesses, recently sold Luxury Home Magazine. And I always think, when people get to a point where they have that level of success, when they have that level of success where they can sell a business and they go and they sell another business, like, what does that feel like in your mind when you look back on the success that you've had?
Here it comes.
Tell me.
Here it comes.
Yeah.
Well, I think anyone that has success also has failures. And I think you have to learn from each of your successes. If anybody says they've only had success, they're lying.
That's true.
I mean, trust me. Because they don't see what you do behind the scenes.
Right.
And they don't see how hard you work to get where you were. So, yes, we've sold businesses. Some were successful, some were not so successful.
Mm.
But I will say, over the last 20-some years, we've had incredible success.
I know.
And I'll leave it like that.
Yeah, I know.
But it wasn't just with LHM.
No, yeah.
It was with other businesses we had prior.
Right.
We've just been very fortunate and blessed.
Yeah. Well, it's also who you
I
are.
have to say this.
Yeah.
My success isn't because of Brad Taylor.
Mm.
It's because of Kathy and Brad Taylor.
Mm.
Because I couldn't imagine doing what I did by myself. It's two people complimenting each other.
Seriously.
And I'll leave it at that.
No, seriously. So I have a speech, where I talk about, some of the biggest decisions that I've made. And one of them is talking about, this idea of who you marry matters.
100%.
Right? So for you, what is that in with the success that you guys have had together, what does that mean to you? Like, who you marry matters?
Well, over the last month, my wife and I have been, we moved, we bought a new home, we're trying to get transitioned, and every day I'm on her about something. And I said to her the other day, I said, we both compliment each other. And if I didn't stay on you and she didn't stay on me, we wouldn't get, it's just, when you know.
Yeah.
And I couldn't picture trying to do what we did and all the accomplishments, everything we've accomplished if we don't work as a team.
Yeah.
And you have to compliment each other.
Yeah.
It's not about me, and it's not really about her. It's about what we do together. And even when we ran the business, it wasn't about us.
Yeah.
It was about you and other people that were part of our organization. Yeah. But also, we joked about this because I just got a text from somebody who has worked for us for 14 years. Mm-hmm. And he says, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. One thing that I will tell you is we had an incredible track record with people that worked directly for us that stayed with us. We didn't have a huge turnover like maybe some other businesses do because it's how you treat your people. It's culture. Mm-hmm. I don't think that
important.
answers your question, but
Well, no, I mean, it's teamwork with you and your wife. I mean,
it's
I get
not.
it.
Yeah,
It's
but
complementing each
our
other.
success isn't because of us necessarily. It's because of the people we surround ourselves with.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
have to surround yourselves with people that push you,
Yeah.
that lift you up, that not people that tear you down.
Yeah, but if you don't marry the right person, it don't matter who you surround yourself with,
Oh,
right? Like that's the key.
Oh yeah, if you're in a marriage where you both aren't on the same page,
It's brutal.
it's a sinking ship.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So go back, Brett. So look, I know for every success anybody ever has, they have a failure. So share a failure. Share a failure with that's something that's happened that you were just like, man, I can't believe. But you probably learned more from that one failure than 10 victories.
Is that before I met my wife?
Sure, any failure, yeah, for sure.
I think one of my failures was I got involved and had a business partner where we basically weren't on the same page. And that was a huge learning experience. When you form a business, you better make sure that you are both on the same page and you both have the same agenda and goals. And I don't think I did that, but I think I was so young and so excited that I didn't know better. And then, I mean, Kathy and I have learned in running quite a few businesses that you've got to put systems and processes in place. And early on, we didn't do that.
Okay.
And it really cost us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so new entrepreneur, listen to this podcast. They're like, I want to start a business. I need to start a business. What would you tell them?
Well, number one, I would suggest you find out your why. Why do you want to do this? What's your purpose? Because if you're not passionate about what you want to do, it's never going to work.
It's true.
Seriously.
Yeah.
You have to have a passion. When you have a passion for what you want to do, regardless of what it is, whether you start a plumbing business or whatever, you have to have a passion for that because otherwise it'll show.
Well,
So,
when it gets hard and you don't have a passion for it, right?
Yeah,
When it gets hard.
Yeah, but I also think you need to be a people person. Too many businesses fail because the owner, he doesn't have a personality. And he doesn't understand the importance of relationships, or she. Because today, your business is built on relationships. It's built on trust, integrity, credibility, passion.
Yeah.
And doing the right thing, sometimes when it's uncomfortable. So, I don't know. There's a variety of things. I think money is secondary. I think if you really want something bad enough, you'll figure a way to make it happen.
It's true.
No,
Yeah.
I really believe that.
Yeah, it's true. You know what? One of those things for me recently was swimming. I couldn't swim a lap. I'm getting ready for a triathlon, and I couldn't do a lap. And this morning, I had to do 4,000 meters.
So you did that this morning?
I did that this morning.
Man, you look
it was
good for doing that.
4,200 meters.
Oh,
yeah.
Look awesome.
And but I had to have that why that you're talking about.
It's got to be. You got to have the why.
The why is if I can't swim 4,000 meters, how in the world am I going to do it in a triathlon?
Yeah.
Right? Like when it really matters.
Right.
So you got to be able to put the work in to get to that point.
I'll give you an example. So we have a bunch of kids. They're not kids anymore. Some of them are older than you, or just about.
Right.
So our one son, he graduated from high school, and he was working part-time at a grocery store, and he went to a community college. And he was there about a year and a half, and he tells us one day he wants to move to Oregon to go to Oregon State. And we said, well, we're not going to pay out-of-state commission or tuition. You have to go get your residency there. So for the next year, and the reason he wanted to go to Oregon State was because all of his friends that lived, that he grew up with, were all going there. So he moves to Oregon, Corvallis, And for the first year, he works at a grocery store to get his, his residency. And part of that is you can't help him. You can't supplement. He has to show the state that he can support himself.
Oh, wow.
So he gets his residency, and he goes back to community college in that area, and all the courses he's taking are transferable. Point I'm trying to make is about a year and a half, 2 years ago, he went to finish his degree at Oregon State. Now, he wanted this. It wasn't that we were forcing him to do it. He wanted this. It was eating him up, and he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He wanted to get a finance degree. Okay. So this year he graduates with a finance degree.
This year in 2021?
Yeah. But he's getting straight A's. And I think the success he's had is for two reasons. One, he met this awesome girl that's now his future wife, our future daughter-in-law, who graduated last year with a teaching degree. And I think she complimented and supported him, but he wanted this so bad that he literally has been going through school year-round. So it wasn't like he was only taking classes, a portion of the year. Yeah. And he still was working part-time.
Wow.
At the grocery store. It's like a Whole Foods.
Yeah.
And I think when you really want something, regardless of what it is, whether it's business, doing what you're doing, you're going to be highly. I think just in marriage, you have to really want your marriage to work because it's hard work.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and you gotta give and take.
Yeah.
It's not
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. What do you say to people that are their first mindset is this? I want to start a business because I just want to make a lot of money.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Tell them why.
That's not going to work. I mean, because you know what, you can make a lot of money short term, but you have to have a business that's going to be sustainable.
True.
I mean, you have to find that niche, and you have to really, a lot of people, they'll start a business. It's kind of like going to the gym. Okay, first of the year, you're all excited. Everybody's joining the gym. You go to the gym. You're there for a month. You're there for 2 months. And by the third month, you're barely going. And by fourth month, you probably aren't going at all. Okay? Yeah. Or people starting a social media account. Yeah. They go to some seminar. They get all excited. They go back to start their Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And by 4 months, they're barely posting anything.
Yeah.
I think you have to know your why. You have to know your purpose. And most importantly, you got to have a passion for what you're doing. And you got to really think through it. Because otherwise, probably you won't succeed.
Not going to work. So, Brad, you are, like I said in your book, in the foreword of your book, you ooze passion. Right, it just comes out of you. I can remember when we were dating on the phone. You remember when we were dating?
Yeah, every day.
When I
this guy left training and he freaking called me every day.
No,
not every day. All right, he called me.
And I'm even talking before we signed the agreement.
No, yeah,
right?
you called me every day then too.
We were dating.
No,
right?
but you would challenge me. You would question everything.
I had to. Yeah, I had to.
Even your attorney started to question it until.
By the way, he was right outside when we were walking in. The guy in the blue suit, that was Ken.
and by the time I was done talking to your attorney, he says, "Well, how do I advertise?" He did. He said that. I told you that.
That's
right,
so funny. Yeah.
What were we talking
about?
But
so to me, I forgot what we were talking about, but that's okay.
We're talking about who's passion.
Passion.
You have two choices in life.
Yeah.
Okay. You can either be a Debbie Downer and always be moping around or you can be excited.
Yeah.
And everybody has challenges in life. God knows I have over the last couple of years. But you have to make a decision. You either wake up, get dressed, and move forward, or you can just sit around and feel sorry for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to make that decision. And the people, regardless of your age, I mean, this doesn't just have to do with people in business.
Yeah.
Kids today going to school, it's a lot tougher. And I grew up, in the 60s and 70s going through school. But I think that today kids have it a lot tougher going through school, whether it's public or private, than they do when I went to school, because I think that there's more things out there. Social media has played a negative role, I think, on a lot of kids, because, that's a whole nother subject, but anyway.
No, I mean, there's a lot more to be distracted. I can't imagine.
But you have to, but kids today, they just always want to impress people. It's not being true to yourself, I think, sometimes. I think the one thing I've tried to tell my kids is be yourself.
Yeah.
And don't try to be somebody you're not.
Yeah. Whether anybody's looking or not.
Right, exactly.
Right. Whether anybody's looking.
And that's also whether you're in school or just my wife and I went to our first 55 plus where we moved. It's really awesome there. My older son calls it Pleasantville because everybody's so happy there. Everybody takes their garbage out at the same time. Everybody's walking the streets, saying hi to each other. But it's just an awesome community where we moved. And so there was a 55 plus get to know you, and I walked the room. One thing that Tomas taught me: don't stay talking to one person. You walk that room. You get to, and I literally walked the room. I said, I introduced myself, just moved here. What do you do? Where are you from? Yeah. Do you still work? There was only one couple that worked out of the whole room. And there was
how many people were there?
There was a lot of people there. And I mean, you got to be excited. You can't.
But that leads me to the question, right? On this passion. Yeah. So Brad, you've had so much success. What are you passionate about right now?
I'm challenged with that.
That's why I asked.
I journal every day. I told my daughter, I literally go through one of these now almost a month. Every month. I just literally in the last couple days switched. Yeah. And I'm already how many pages into it? Yeah. But I'm really struggling on what I'm supposed to do in life. You can't stand it.
No, I love it.
And I'll tell you, one thing that I learned years ago when I moved to Oregon, I really made a commitment that I'm going to really think what I did in the past, what worked, what didn't work. And the one thing I've done moving forward that I really struggle with is building relationships.
You don't struggle with building
relationships. Yeah, but here's the problem. Here's the problem, Tomas. There's different levels of relationships. Mm-hmm. So you have personal relationships. Mm-hmm. You have business relationships. Mm-hmm. You have competitive relationships. I have tried to maintain relationships with some of my closest competitors. As a matter of fact, I was just on the phone with one before we started the podcast. Mm-hmm. With personal relationships, with friends. And the hardest thing right now, because I have so many, is making and forcing you to take the time to keep in contact with those people. Because it's easy. It's so easy to distance, to lose contact with people that have meant so much to you. Yeah. And I think that I would challenge anyone, don't forget the people that helped get you started. Don't forget the people that were mentors to you. It could be a teacher that was, 50 years ago, or someone when you first started in business 25 years ago. And I had a very, very good mentor in the late 90s from the publishing industry I used to represent. And when I was writing my book, I reached out to him, and he sent me a testimonial. I hadn't talked to the guy, his name's Barry, for probably 10 years. Okay. When I was doing my book signing in Sarasota, guess who walked through the front door of Barnes & Noble?
Wow.
In his golf pants and golf shirt.
I remember the picture.
Yeah. Yep. And I'll tell you, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I just feel bad that I don't communicate enough with people like that. And I have so many of those kind of people in my life. And I think it's something I work hard on.
Yeah.
I know we're getting off track here.
No, but
I
it
think
goes back to your passion.
But relationships, you can have a competitor or someone that you potentially compete against in business and still be friends with them.
Yeah, of course.
But you have to draw the line between, what you may share with them and what you don't share with them. But I have always tried to have incredible relationships with a lot of people, and it pays off because if I need to know something, I just pick up the phone and call somebody, and they're going to tell me something that I probably would never know otherwise.
Right.
I think relationships, but relationships in business in general, I think with COVID, sometimes I think in business, relationships kind of got tucked, pushed under the rug or whatever because people really didn't know how to, reach out other than through Zoom or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. For us in our traditional business, I think relationships was a huge part of the success of LHM.
Oh, it's the one.
Because it was a relationships
Yeah,
that
100%.
allowed us to continue to grow when everybody else was scratching their head trying to figure out how to maintain a business. Seriously.
No, when COVID hit, I back at that time, this is crazy. Have you read Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, let me tell you a story about Who Moved My Cheese.
But hold on, let me finish this point. But I want you to say that. But the team had read that book prior to COVID, so we started reading that book in 2019 in December. I said, everybody, we're going to read this book, and then 2020 hits.
Yeah.
And here we are, and I have a meeting in March, and you and I are on a cruise in February.
Yes,
we were on a boat.
January.
No,
February. Yeah,
it was in February.
Yeah, no, I did a talk in Sarasota, and the next day we hopped on a ship.
We got on the boat.
We were on the boat.
We're on the boat, and then we come back,
and COVID hit.
And COVID hits,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And I remember, they're like, my wife Christina says, Enzo's not going to have school. And I remember I got on the phone, I got all my team together, and I said, okay, here's the deal, guys. We have to double down on relationships. We're going to call every single person and have a conversation. And here are the bullet points. Here's what we're going to talk about. And we're going to double down because the cheese is going to be moved. We just don't know where. But the relationships is what's going to get us through it.
I'm telling you, that's what got LHM. That LHM grew.
We grew.
As a company, as a network of magazines, and as a brand, probably more than we grew 2 years prior because of COVID, but because of the relationships. All right, so let me tell you a story. So early in 2000, Kathy and I were on a flight to Atlanta, Georgia, to speak to 550 people. Okay? And we had our PowerPoint presentation or whatever it was at the time ready to go. We're excited. And at the airport, I picked up the book, Who Moved My Cheese.
Yeah. Had it just come out?
It was only out probably a year.
Not that long.
No.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's an easy read.
Great read.
So I read the book on the airplane.
Yeah.
And we're flying from Oregon at the time.
Yeah.
And I said to Kathy, we need to talk about this book. Now, we spent days preparing for this presentation. I mean, it was an hour-long presentation. You spent days preparing for this, tossed everything out the window. We walked on stage, and I think the people that we were supposed to speak from, they literally, they didn't even know what to say. Because it says, I explained that we're going to change the venue a little bit. Yeah. On our way here, we read this incredible book, and we talked about the book.
Yeah.
Before we were done, the VP of sales came on the stage while we were still on there and said, we are ordering a book for every single person here.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a true story.
Yeah.
And that book touched me in different ways.
Yep.
And touched me to the point where I couldn't do what I was going to do. I had to talk about the book.
When did you have you reread it recently? When's the last time you read the book?
No, I haven't reread it in probably.
Well, this is what we need to do. You and I, because I just reread. I just reread it.
I have a book. No,
Okay.
I think I gave it. You know, the sad part.
What?
I had about 400 books.
You got rid
I
of them.
sold them all. I gave them away
Yeah, it's okay.
because
That's okay.
I just couldn't. I don't. I didn't
Yeah.
know what to do.
So
I
here's what
kept
we need to
certain
do.
Ones.
We need to reread it
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
like in this present moment,
Yeah.
right? Because I'm thinking, because I asked you a question, you didn't answer it, because I'm going to ask it again. What are you passionate about? And I think that book, because your cheese has moved.
Yeah, my cheese has moved,
Your
but not
cheese has
really. It
moved.
really hasn't moved. I mean, it has
Maybe.
moved, but I don't know.
So what are you passionate about?
Well, you're digging here.
No, I'm not digging.
I'm passionate about inspiring others to succeed.
I love it.
I love to help people.
I know that's true.
And if you ask me one thing, what am I good at? I'm good at helping people get through tough times,
Yep.
inspiring people, and figuring out the problem. And typically the problem is right in front of you. You're just not seeing it. See, people get so concerned about fixing the problem. Typically the fix is right there, but they're so worried about everything else around them. They're not seeing,
The real cause or what's
right.
really
Right. No, it's true.
for sure.
It's true. It's
For
true.
sure. Yeah. Now, the reason why you came to San Antonio is because of last night, our 10th anniversary.
Because of you,
event.
buddy.
And
I couldn't miss it.
well,
I did rearrange our Vegas trip so
appreciate that.
that we could be here.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I'm just, I'm curious, as somebody that came in, you saw the event last night. Tell me what was going through your mind as you were mingling, as you were walking around. What was going through your mind at that event?
You were the epitome of somebody that built relationships. And your relationships spewed out as I talked to a variety of people, from the gentleman that sells insurance. I'm trying to think of his name, Raphael or something. You know what I'm talking about?
Rafa.
Yeah. Who shared a little bit about how he knew you.
Yep.
Great conversation. To gentlemen who you met at what is it? The company?
EO?
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs Organization.
Yeah, somebody was writing a book. I was kind of giving him a little insight on what I learned.
Oh,
from
Derek.
him.
You talking about Derek?
Yeah, he's right. He used to be until a couple years ago, he was the mascot.
Oh, that was Rob.
Yeah.
Yes, Rob.
Yeah.
Rob Whitecall. He was a
Yeah.
former Spur Coyote.
Yeah.
Yes, awesome, dude.
But as I was talking to realtors and as I was talking to people in other industries, it's very clear that you have done an incredible job.
Thank you.
Building relationships. And that's why they were there.
Yeah.
And you did an awesome job. I commend you in being very specific and congratulating people, thanking people, telling a few stories, but I just couldn't resist. I was about to grab the mic because I couldn't have you let people go and not have people realize you guys are the reason they're there.
No. Yeah, I think,
No, it's true though.
Yeah.
It's
no,
true.
for sure.
Nobody would have been at that event if it wasn't for you two and what you've accomplished.
True. I love what you said earlier, though. You've been very successful, but every successful business owner, every successful business person has had failure. And
well,
you're gonna have failure.
You can have success, but you're gonna have failure. Let's take one specific business. You can have mega success over the years, but you're gonna have failures in between that success.
Yes.
Even though the overall brand, product, service, whatever you're representing is nobody will know though.
Right.
Most people don't know everything that you went through to get to where you are today.
Yeah.
Because they only see the final product. And then people want to be just like you, but they don't understand you don't just jump into something and have mega success.
Right.
You got to go through the learning curves.
What I tell Enzo, this is one of the things that I read an amazing book. I'm sure you've read it, Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, right? And that book is about, with our kids, we have to teach them that it's not you're smart. It's not about you're smart. It's that, hey, I like your effort, because at certain point, kids could be smart, but then if they reach a point where they have a problem or maybe they can't solve it, well, are they not smart anymore? Right? And so we have to change the mindset of, no. You're going to reach points where you don't know something, but it's the effort. It's working and having the effort. That's the right mindset, right? No. It's growth mindset as opposed to having a fixed mindset where I'm only as smart as whatever question they ask, you know? So, you got to have a growth mindset.
I think also you can't give up. Too many people give up right before the success is there. Yeah. And I know so many individuals that attempted to start a business or started a business, but they gave up too soon.
Yeah.
They gave up because my wife and I have this attitude that there is no plan B. And so everything we've done in life,
burn the ships. I love it.
Yeah, you burn the ships, as Andy Andrews would say. But you have no plan B. And when we were moving, I had no plan B. There was only one plan A. When you moved from Florida to Portland,
you burned the ships.
Oh yeah. Everybody told us we were crazy. We'd sink. But when we were moving from California here, we had a disaster happen. But we had no plan B.
Yeah.
It was like I think when you have a plan B in business, you're already opening yourself up to fail, because if you have a plan B and things get tough, guess what?
Yeah.
You jump into plan B and you forget plan A.
Yeah.
And when you don't have a plan
B. Or you stop being in the process of plan A.
No,
right?
You stop, when you started, okay, how it probably took you, 4, 8, 9, maybe 10 weeks to sell the first issue?
Oh, longer.
Okay, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
No more than 12 weeks.
I think it was like 3.5 months.
Okay, don't tell me you didn't think about quitting throughout that 3 months.
No. I've got an even better story than that.
You probably
I got a better story.
You probably at one point said, "This is crazy. What the hell am I doing?"
No. Here's the funny thing: because of the amount of money I invested, I never thought about quitting. Then I couldn't quit.
I'll tell you
there was no quitting. Right? There was no quitting. But listen, here's the thing: you've heard the story 3 feet from gold, right? That whole concept, right? The 3 feet from gold. Here's my 3 feet from gold story. There was a moment, I'll never forget this. Christina and I are in Austin. I'm trying to sell the Austin book. I had lost the first person that was working for us, that first official publisher that was going to work with us and partner with us. Lost that person. I'm sitting in front of the W Hotel downtown Austin, and I am literally like I'm at my wit's end, and I go, Christina, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. Like, we already had a pretty successful magazine in San Antonio.
Right.
But the stress of that second book, I was driving Austin 3 days a week. I literally was like, I can't do it. And I'll never forget my wife looked at me. Because now, you look back, it's 2020, right? And she looked at me, she goes, go hire somebody and stop whining.
Good for her.
Go hire. Now imagine if I had quit at that moment. But we don't experience last night.
And you begged me to do Austin.
I begged you.
You closer to the mic, Tomas.
Yeah, I did beg you. I did.
No, you called me several times. I said, Tomas, it's not the right time.
Yeah.
You got to wait a couple more weeks or months.
I'm glad you did that, because I was not I wasn't even mentally emotionally prepared when we did do it.
What's this isn't a trick question, but you of all people should know this question. Mm-hmm. What's the hardest part about running or expanding a business? One thing. One word. That's it.
Expanding. What's the hardest part?
About growing a business, scaling a business, or expanding a business to multiple locations. One word.
I mean, I don't know.
One word.
I mean, I know you have your word, but my word may be different. Are you saying what did it take?
What's the hardest part?
Oh, what's the hardest part?
Hardest part about
time management. Time.
Okay.
I mean, in my book, because I had to go to another location.
Right.
So you have to devote that time And so that was what it was for me.
Right.
And then I felt like I was divided because when I wasn't here, I wasn't focused on San Antonio, and when I was up there. But what is it for you?
That's probably before the Google Calendar. All right, so hardest part
Yep.
for me,
Yeah.
and has always been, and I preach this now to everybody,
Yeah.
finding the right people.
Oh,
Because
people.
you can,
Yeah, I
if
agree.
you do not have that right person at your current location,
Yeah.
you can be a online business. It doesn't make any difference. If that person isn't properly answering the phone,
Yeah.
communicating with people, being there when people walk in, representing your brand,
Yeah.
here's what's going to happen. Your business is going to fail.
True.
It's the people that make your business and I think that a lot of franchises and franchisees, a lot of business owners, they don't get that yet because it's all about them. It's not about them. It's about the people that make you successful.
Well, what would you say to the there's a lot of solopreneurs. There are a lot of solopreneurs that they want to run their business with a very small ship.
Yeah, I got
You know what I mean?
I got an answer for that. So
what about the solopreneur?
I'll
It's
give
like,
you-
I got to do it myself.
Okay, I got a perfect answer for you. So we moved this is so complicated, but we moved 3,000 miles back to Florida.
Right.
Remember the first 3,000 miles.
Oh yeah.
So we moved 3,000 miles back to Florida, and we bought a brand new home. Yeah. So we're trying to figure everything out, and during these tough times, it's hard to get people to it's hard to get materials. It's hard to get, So anyway, so we're looking to get our windows tinted in certain areas of the house because in Florida, it's stinking. The sun is baking you.
It's hot.
So we interviewed a variety of tinting companies, and we had two. We wanted one more. So the guy calls. Kathy and I are driving, and the guy finally returns the call, and he says, "Well, I don't have time to come out and see you guys. If you want to measure everything and send me the measurements, I'd be happy to give you quote you a price." And he said some other stuff, and I was dying in the background, but I didn't say anything because you let them talk. So the guy hung up. I says, "There'll be a hard day in hell before we deal with this guy." Yeah. I mean, this was a solo guy too.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
But if somebody doesn't have the time to take the time to meet with you in person, and I mean, I got to put a face behind the brand,
Mm-hmm.
if at all possible. Sometimes that's not possible. In this case, the guy just chose not to.
Mm-hmm. He's busy.
Oh yeah, everybody's busy.
Everybody's busy. So, Brad, wrapping this up, the thing that I want to say that's really important for me is thank you. I really want you to understand that the change in what your mentorship.
It sounds like goodbye.
It's not a goodbye. What are you talking about? I'm not going anywhere.
It's like I told somebody the other day. They says, "Oh well, I guess I'm not." I says, "We're not saying goodbye. We'll see you later." I mean, there's no goodbye.
No, there's no goodbye.
There's no goodbye. I mean,
But as I was saying, I want to say thank you to you and Kathy because really it's you and Kathy. Because Kathy makes you better.
She makes me 100%
right?
better.
Just like my wife makes me better. And we wouldn't be the people that we are, the energy that we have without our wives making us better. But I want you to know really and truly from my family to you that I can't express this enough how much we appreciate you. The lifestyle that we have, the things that we've been able to do as a family. Your mentorship means the world to me, and I will need you to understand that regardless if I know you're not publishing a magazine and maybe you might think about it or whatever, but whatever the case may be, your mentorship means the world to me, and I want you to know that. So thank you.
When you came to training and we were in the conference room, you were quiet like a mouse. I think Christina was talking and asking most of the questions. You didn't say much.
Right.
Somehow something changed and you became like you have changed so much. See, I see it, but you don't see it because you're with yourself every day.
Right.
When somebody sees you on a different level. You have literally changed 360 degrees from what you were 10, 11 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, professionally, personally, the way you approach things, your posture.
Well, a lot of that is great mentoring, right?
Yeah,
and
but
amazing
it's
books.
also it's that, but I think also you did something that you had never done before.
Yeah.
So that created a whole new level of, I think, belief, confidence.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
All right.
So, Brad, listen, thank you, my friend. I'm so glad. There hasn't been very many repeat TM3 podcasts. I think you might be the second repeat
Wow.
guest
I'm honored
on the show. So I'm glad
honored.
you're here. And with that, you get another TM3 mug. So you have another matching mug.
Oh yes, I love those mugs. I even copied it.
Yes,
I stole the whole thing except for the logo.
I know. I love it. Well, Brad, listen, my man, it's always good to see you.
You're
glad
awesome.
you're here. Let's go eat some lunch.
All right, buddy.
Take care.